Hey everybody, welcome back to Record-ology. You're not going to want to miss this. Today we have the innovative technology, aka Victrola VTA-65 in black. So let's go ahead and open this box. 3-speed turntable, Bluetooth connectivity, FM radio. Looks good. Let's get into it even more. All right, now we're getting someplace. So we've got this bag, and in the bag we've got a special offer. We've got a record shop now, so you can buy records through Victrola, and some other literature there. Looks like we got a power supply right here in the corner, and the unit itself is braced in with simple styrofoam blocks. Now let's go ahead and take off the plastic wrap. Sort of like an electronics striptease. Okay, let me reposition the shot and we'll take a closer look. This is probably one of the most reflective dust covers I've ever seen. Kind of difficult to shoot with. So here it is. It's clearly an all-in-one unit. I've never seen this before. I bought this on Amazon, thought we would take a look. And it does everything, but does it do it well? Does it play records accurately, speed-wise? Is it safe and gentle to use with your records? And how does it sound? And we're going to check all of that out. Let's start by taking a look at the turntable portion, which would make sense here on Record-ology. Hopefully by this point you will realize that not all of these mechanisms are the same, because the mechanism can be a part, but it can be implemented in a number of different ways. For instance, this one does not have the shock mounting. So there are variations, there are versions, and my guess is there's multiple companies making these. Here's a little how-to quick start reference guide. These are pretty helpful. Obviously, we do have the smaller platter with the 3 points of rubber contact, little C-clip holding on the platter itself. Motor will be over here. It is belt driven. 45 adapter, kind of a basic one there. And our familiar tone arm. Let's take a closer gander there. I always forget to remove this part. I think I'm ready to film, and then I realize, oh, I don't quite have everything off. Same thing with the stylus guard. A lot of people don't realize you're supposed to take these off, and you may laugh, but if you've never been told that it's supposed to come off, I could see that happening. Plus, there are some companies out there that actually have product photos of their styli or their cartridges playing records, quote unquote, playing records with the stupid stylus guard on. And that doesn't help things either, because if you're not sure, you're going to look at pictures. You know what I mean? Like, why isn't there sound coming out of my record? So let's take a closer look at that tone arm. Okay, let's start with the gimbal here. It does have a little lateral movement, but up and down wise, not so bad. We do have a lift shelf here that is a rigid plastic. We have a cueing lever. Let's look at the descend. It's okay, not too fast. And we've obviously got a tone arm clip right down here. Let's get a closer look there. Auto stop switch on the right, so that it'll stop playing the record when it gets to the end of it automatically if you want that, as well as a switch for the 3 speeds. This does do 78s, 45s, and 33 as well. It looks like there is a knockout panel here that wasn't utilized. So perhaps this chassis, or actually this would be the plinth, is possibly used on another product as well. I don't know what would be there, perhaps some sort of control interface, but on this unit that is not in use. Somebody asked me the other day, what is this cartridge? You keep saying Chuo Denshi clone, but what really is it? So the Chuo Denshi model, which is the Japan version, the original version that has been around since the 1980s, is a CZ800. However, these oftentimes use Chinese-built clones, and, they work. They don't really break or wear out. They're just a rugged, low-compliance, rough and tumble, line-level outputting ceramic cartridge. In terms of this one, it does have the metal cantilever. I could tell it's got a sapphire tip, so you'd want to upgrade that stylus, which is the red housing and the needle attached to it, and the cantilever, sooner than later, because the sapphire variants will wear out sooner, like around 100 plays versus 1,000 that you could get from a diamond. But good to see that this does have a bridge, a rubber boot, and like I said, that metal cantilever. All of those are very good things. Let's take a look around back, see what we've got on the back panel. By the way, this particular unit was made back in 2019, which is kind of interesting. Apparently, it's not a new model. We've got recessed RCA output jacks completely flush and a completely flush DC jack as well. 5 volts, 1 amp, and an FM antenna. Like I said, this one does not have AM, so just that FM antenna there. And that's it for the back panel. I will caution you that simply connecting one of these entry-level units into a big sound system will not automatically make it sound incredibly good. It will definitely help a bit, but it will not make it like a super hi-fi thing. However, if you've got a stereo system and you want to integrate it, you can do so, and that will help somewhat. Speaking of sound, important key element here, speakers. What do these speakers look like? So this does feature two 2-watt speakers, and that may make you recoil and think that that's incredibly low. It is a low wattage. However, even with 2-watt speakers, if it's properly utilized, if the impedance is properly matched with the cartridge, it can sound okay for what this is. So let's not write it off just yet. It does also have Bluetooth, which I think I mentioned. It runs Bluetooth 4. So that is an older codec. Specifically, it'll do A2DP and AVR-CP if you're really curious about which specific codecs it uses. Yeah, so looks like it could be pretty cool. I'm interested in the idea. There's a metal grill I always like to feel and make sure those are metal. The idea of an all-in-one unit is very intriguing to me because when I started out in this hobby, I should say when I got back into this hobby, because I did have record players as a kid, but when I got back into this 6-7 years ago, I didn't have anything. I didn't have a stereo. I didn't have speakers, an amplifier, any of that stuff. So my first unit was an all-in-one unit. It didn't have nearly the feature set this one does, but it was similar in terms of the size. It had built-in speakers. It was actually using a ceramic cartridge, the same one. But the idea of having a unit that's got Bluetooth, that's got radio, some of these, not this one, have CD players, tape players. That's pretty cool because for somebody who's just starting out and has nothing, it's a good starting point. It's a good starting point. It's a sampler platter of audio. And from there, it really can launch people into, different aspects of this hobby. So let's go ahead and give it a function test. I want to fire up this front panel and take a closer look. So I'm going to go ahead and plug it in and we'll turn it on. Okay, let's start on the right here. We've got a volume knob. These are plastic knobs. A little bit of drag there. Get the job done. A headphone jack. There's our display. Transport controls right here. So that'll be for like your Bluetooth device. If you connect your phone to this, and by the way, this is a Bluetooth receiver. It will act as a Bluetooth speaker. It won't send Bluetooth. So if you connect your phone to this device, you can actually skip tracks, play and pause right from the device. There's also a search feature as well and a power switch. Now I've got it plugged in, so I'm going to go ahead and press the power button. Ooh, red. I haven't seen a red LCD display, and that's what it is, red LCD, in quite a while. This looks like my old 70s era inherited calculator that I got made fun of in school for. This is very, very interesting. So a red display. I was expecting sort of like a vacuum fluorescent or some sort of like bright white or blue display. But this has gone kind of retro, unexpected. I kind of like it. Remember those calculators where the display was like 2 feet deep and they had like these little red characters that look very similar to this? It's coming across on camera a little more orange and kind of out of focus, but it's actually very sharp red. If I go to Bluetooth, let's see what happens. I'm switching the function knob to Bluetooth. So it just says BT. It was PH for phono, and then FM. It says tune, and we got a tuning dial. So I bet you that this is a scan radio. If we go over here, there's no tuning dial. So if we go over here, can we skip? Okay, so we can skip through channels, like basically presets. And then if we hit the scan button, it's going to go ahead and scan the FM dial and program in what those channels are. Interesting. So I'm guessing that's a dual function for this. He's probably pretty confident this will also control the Bluetooth. But for now, it's scanning in the FM stations. So I'm going to let it finish its scan, and we'll give it a little test of the FM radio, which should be a good test of the speakers. One reason why is FM radio is compressed, not digitally compressed, but compressed in the standpoint of smashing down, sort of like the loudness wars of CDs, compressing down the range of frequencies so that cheaper speakers with more limited range actually sound better because the highs and the lows have been kind of squeezed to fit in a more narrow frequency range. Okay, that didn't take long at all, so let's go ahead and turn the volume up here. This is our classical station. I'm going to skip through here. It is punchy. It is punchy. It's got a lot of punch right out of the gate.
He would say... On the trip home, he shot a video of him checking his son's...
It has definitely latched on to some strong stations, so that's good.
Stand up to him and say, hey.
The new hits 95.7. Hey, I'm JR. Check it out, Jennifer and Brighton.
Esa mental que muchas personas pudieran tener diferente a la de otro.
It's a unique mix.
It's definitely got some punch. It is loud, which is a good thing. From a frequency standpoint or a range of audible sound, it's, you know, they're mid-range small speakers. It sounds like that. They're not particularly hi-fi, but for a record player, for an entry point, this could really fit the bill for somebody in an apartment, tiny home, somebody without a lot of space, somebody that just wants to dab their little toe into the waters of vinyl and audio equipment. So yeah, that's awesome stuff. Since we're going backwards, let's do Bluetooth next and we'll finish with vinyl. Okay, so let's go ahead and try to pair the Bluetooth. I'm going to put it into Bluetooth mode, as you can see down there. And it should pop up as an other device down there at the bottom. And there it is. So tapping there should pair the device. And there we go. Okay, so we are paired. Let's test the sound on Bluetooth. We are listening on the front-facing stereo mics ambiently, by the way, in case my voice sounds a little different. So this is a song by Kevin MacLeod called Killing Time over Bluetooth. Let's give it a listen. You know, it sounds okay for what it is. It's not going to blow your mind away, but as you're listening to it, you know, it doesn't sound boxy. It has a decent amount of fill. It definitely has punch. It's got good volume, which, you know, compared to the unit we reviewed yesterday, it's good on volume. It's not quiet on any of the inputs that we've tried. It sounds great so far from that standpoint. It's just, you know, these are small speakers. They sound like small speakers. That's, you know, it is what it is. Kind of like suitcase speakers. However, I'm excited and hopeful that this will hopefully be a properly impedance matched turntable. It'll be a real winner for what it is if it does have proper impedance matching. However, before that, I want to check a couple other things. I want to check tracking force and speed consistency. We've got our scale zeroed out. As always, this should be somewhere in the 5 to 6 gram territory, and it is just over 5, so that's great. No damage to your records. That's great news. I love that. So far, you guys, we're doing good. We might have a winner on our hands. Let's check that speed consistency and make sure it's not too fast. These are never too slow. The question is it ridiculously fast or is it close or hopefully even on point in terms of speed? I've been bad about checking for this on reviews lately, but this does indeed allow you to close the lid completely with the record in there, which is a good thing. So yeah, that's some people, that's a big deal to them, being able to close the lid while the record is spinning. And now we really need to check that speed. And away we go. This is 33 RPM, which is right here. Ooh, this is not bad at all. It's a hair fast, but not that bad. And like I always say, once the needle drops, there's going to be a little bit of drag introduced. So this might be right on point. Let's go to 45 up here. 45 is a hair faster. Do have a bit of motor noise. 78 is also a tad fast, but 33 is very, very close. Again, back down here to 33. So that's really good news because that's the speed of record that we are going to be listening to next. Here we go. It's fun music. I love this stuff. It sounds good to me. I mean, for what it is, again, it's not hard to listen to. It doesn't sound shrill. It sounds better to me than that white vertical turntable we reviewed the other day. Yeah. Yeah, this is a good entry-level turntable. It really, really is. Okay, final thoughts on this. This is a solid winner. It's a good price. There's a lot of feature set available in this unit out of the box. You don't need anything except for this unit to play records safely and decently. And it's a good way to kind of, like I said earlier, dip your toe into the proverbial waters of vinyl, meaning that you can really try it out, see if it's something you're interested in. And if it is, you can upgrade to a higher end device down the road, or maybe you don't even want to. Maybe this is where it ends for you, and that's okay. But if you do want to explore the sound potential of vinyl, I would suggest upgrading at some point. This would also be good for a teenager or perhaps a kid, an older kid, not a little kid, but maybe a preteen or somebody that's interested in vinyl. And this would be a good unit for somebody to have as a bedroom unit, possibly a second unit in an office or a kitchen, something of that nature. This would be good for playing records in the background. So yeah, impressed. Very impressed. It is good for what it is. So I'll put a link in the description below. 2 thumbs up. Hope you enjoyed this review. All right, my friends, and that is going to do it. Thank you so much for watching. Happy record hunting. We'll see you next time.